Manever I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there o see them yopo.
To do my work in concert with my commanders across the country and do our job how it should be done, be it elections or any other matter. So that is what I have to say in regards to the two connected issues you've spoken to. Thank you.
So, by your reckoning, what is it about you that people pass a vote of confidence like this? That if we are there, MPP cannot break the 8. And if we are not there, then it becomes an opportunity to break the 8. What is informing this vote of confidence in you? And what is significant is that there's a lot of intelligence you have that I don't know.
Honorable Chair, I still make a point. That is somebody's opinion. And what is about me is doing a professional police job. And then that's nothing more than that.
Grateful to you. Now, I yield space to the other members to ask questions, and we note what the IGP will say. So, the vice was, I thought you had a residual power when they finished.
No. These are preliminary matters.
Okay.
Oh,
yes.
Issue of preliminary matters where people will speak.
Yes. Let me.
These are privileges.
Yes.
Come on.
Okay.
These are privileges reserved for leadership.
Then continue.
Yes. So, Honorable Patrick Boama, do you want to deny the fact that leadership is entitled to certain privileges that you are not entitled to enjoy? So let me take the floor.
Inspector General of Police, you heard this contradiction. Leadership have privileges, you know. You heard that? And he's saying that he wants to call for a division. He said that. You see how people can contradict themselves, you know. Okay, so Vice is going to probably sort of do a follow-up to some of the issues I raised, but he will have his turn. So Vice, do you have a lot of questions on the follow-ups before you have your turn?
Oh, there are not too many questions.
Okay then.
Yes. But just to place on record that this statement that the Honorable Bois read, which culminated in the institution of these proceedings, simply recalled, what he had heard from the leaked audio. And so there are no words. The words contained in this statement are not words that Honorable Bois generated, or they are not a figment of his imagination. They flow directly from the leaked audio. So the talk about breaking the 8, etc., are not his words. Well, just to place that on record. But the General of Police, you see, if you go through the record of proceedings that this committee furnished you with, you find that there is some accusation which has been labeled against you, which is to the effect that you orchestrated the recording of the leaked audio. As IGP, I want you to speak directly to this particular accusation. Did you play any role in respect of the recording of the leaked audio?
Honorable Chair, like the chairman asked initially, I did not play any role in it.
Now, IGP, you also read through the proceedings and you would find that in it, you may want to respond to this in the open. I don't know how it sits with you, but you were also accused of being the worst IGP this country has ever had. Or how did you receive the accusation, and what is your reaction?
Honorable Chair, thank you very much. Honorable Chair, I think probably my brother wanted to say I'm the best and he missed it. Because the records are there for everybody to see. The beauty of mankind is that everybody has an opinion and he can express it in any form of shape. But that has not changed the facts. And this is the point, Honorable Chair. Since my colleagues and I, and the rest of the commands across the country, had opportunity by the grace of God and with the honor done me by His Excellency the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, we committed ourselves to transforming the organization to become the best institution in the country and a reference point for Africa and beyond in a teamwork fashion based on Genesis 1:26. So even granted that I'm the worst, then all of us collectively are the worst, including probably my brother who was serving in that capacity as member of the team that I lead. So I think it was a slip of tongue on his part. But let me speak to the issue. This is what it is. We, the current administration, want to be the best in terms of all those who have come before us. And we have a good reason for that, Honorable Chair. And we are there getting on to becoming the best in the history of the country. And I'll explain. The reason why we want to be the best and we are getting to be the best as a police administration under my leadership is that when most of our forebears were there, we saw what they did right and the challenges they face. So being a graduate of management and leadership and a continuous student of sociology, psychology, and philosophy, it is just clear that when you saw your forebears doing what they were doing, and you saw what they were doing right, and you saw the challenges they were facing, and you have this background, and you have the opportunity, you surely should perform better than them. And this is simple. You do what they were doing right, you learn from their mistake and make them better. So if you add them to what they were doing right, there's no way you cannot be better than them. And this is what we are doing. And at the point, maybe I will share with you so many interventions we have put across the country and working in concert with all the other security agencies that has brought us to this level of peace, security, law and order across the country in an unprecedented way. But the next point, Honorable Chair, is the fact that we don't want to be the best in the whole life of the police service, but rather we want those who come after us to be better than us, because by the same yardstick they are watching us in terms of what we are doing, those that we are getting right, and the challenges that we are facing, so that they they will be able to outperform us. And when they do that, then they will also become better than us and all our forebearers. And when that happens, we will end up building strong institutions and not having strong men. And this is what we are doing. So it is not true that my administration is the worst. It can never be. He missed it. He missed it. And with your permission, I will speak to a few of the interventions that we put across. First, your Honorable Chair, we came in at a time that so many places across the country were engulfed by criminal elements, especially armed robbers all over the place. And now, across all the major highways, you can feel it. In the past, when you are traveling from Kintampo, Bupe Tamale, you normally have to say your last prayers. What is the situation now? In the past, when you are traveling from Tafo, Osimu, Begro to Kwau, it was virtually a no-go area. In the past, when you are traveling from Kintampo, Zamrama to Prime, it was a horrific journey. In the past, when you are traveling from Efijase through Kumau to Robonso to Mamikrobo, you must forget it. In the past, when you are traveling from Bamboy, Bole, Tuna, Tuwa, it's another ball game. In the past, when you are traveling from Takwa to Bogoso, Wasakropon, it was a sad scene. In the past, when you are traveling from Dungawanofin, even to Asimfosu, a terrible situation. And from Praso to Niwa Dubiase, to my big brother's hometown Bekwai, to Kumasi, it was another thing. I can go on and on and on. And as for Donkokrom, it was a daily thing. My village. We've worked together as a team at all levels of command and across all the security agencies to normalize the situation. Equally, the crimes that were happening, residential robberies in all our cities, we've stemmed the tide in a committed way. It is just one. Honorable Chair, with the support of the Police Council, with discussions, and with the approval of His Excellency the President, we have created 7 more new police regions to bring policing closer to the people of this country. Because our assessment when we came to office, we saw that policing across the country was very minimal, roughly about 47 or thereabout %. But with instructions from Mr. President, we've been able to deepen policing in a manner that has never happened before. And that dovetails into the concept of visibility, where we've demonstrated the presence of policing at all corners of the country through the establishment of 144 regional FPU bases across the country. Currently, the establishment, we've been able to roll out 121 of them. And this comes with an average of 35 officers, number of motorbikes, a vehicle, to ensure that they are engaging the communities, they are patrolling the highways, and then they are patrolling the communities so that they will have their peace of mind to live their life. Honorable Chair, I can go on and on and on. When we came, we have established Police Emergency Medical Intervention Fund with the approval of Mr. President, where 6.1 million cities is in there to ensure that every police officer who gets injured in the course of duty can be sent to everywhere in the world to give treatment to the person in order to come on board. Honorable Chair, in the process, as you have seen, with our quest to engage the communities and win their hearts and minds, gone across the country with my team, analyze and identify and analyze all their concerns, working on putting measures in place through special groups in order to ensure that they work and keep them safe. Honorable Chair, we have also worked on the issue of decentralizing so many things that were centralized at the headquarters. The welfare department, counseling department, intelligence unit, processing of certain things, including criminal checks. So we are on the quest of ensuring that at the end of the day, we leave the organization better than we come to find it. So all these interventions, almost about 45 or thereabout of them, and putting it together, working with the other security agencies, that is what has brought us far in terms of the type of internal security that we enjoy. So would anybody coming to say that you are the West IGP, it's unfounded, it's unfortunate, and I think the best the person could have done, if he has nothing to say, is probably keep quiet and allow the good people of this country to make a determination on us. And Honorable Chair, the final point on this matter is that it is not about Dampare, it's about the police administration. It is not about Dampare, it's about the police administration. The police is not a sole proprietorship. It is an institution with governance and management structures. Dampare is just one of the officers involved in the governance and the management structure. So that is what it is. And we work in concept and make sure that all decisions that we need to take, we take it as a group. And when it needs the attention of the police council, we get that as well. But the interesting point is this: as my colleagues will bear us out or will bear me out, all these decisions, where it matters, we even send it to the the regions, the districts, the divisions, and the stations for them to hold meetings and get their inputs involved. And that's the level of teamwork that we brought to bear on the work that we do. So it isn't about Dampare. It is about an institution that we have decided to work together, because nobody put a rope on our neck to join the service, and at the end of the day, the service doesn't belong to me, it doesn't belong to any individual. But once we are there to earn our daily bread in service of the people, we have to find a way of working together. And that is what I have done since I came, and my colleagues are the best witnesses for that. I thank you.
IGP, so let me place on record that the police service is not on trial here. And so, like counsel pointed out much earlier, we have some terms of reference that guides us in, the conduct of this exercise. Now, you spoke at length about we in the collective. It's not about Dampare, it's about the police administration. So you believe in teamwork. Is that correct, sir?
Honorable Chair, that is more than correct.
Now, the witnesses before you have told this committee that under your watch, the Police Management Board, also known as POMAB, has become dysfunctional. Dysfunctional in the sense that it has become a one-man show. In other words, the IGP does not consult members of POMAP for purposes of reporting to the council. Please say, what's your reaction to this?
Honorable Chair, that is falsehood. And like I've demonstrated to you, and you also refer from my speech, and look at it, you called me and only me to appear. All of them, including some of them who were on sick leave, said, what is happening? I'll suspend my sick leave and come. Because since you was in office, you've told us that we are a chain, and the time we break, anytime it breaks, is because somebody is retiring. We took that part out and connect the chain again. So if anybody sits anywhere to say that you don't consult, then that person is trying to be so mischievous to the level that he doesn't wish the organization well and doesn't wish the country well. This is the point. Every meeting, every major issue,
Inspector General of Police.
yes,
One dimension of this interrogation, which we inform our recommendations, is about matters concerning the setup that you had. So please, you interrogate these matters critically in camera. So if you can veer off all the challenges of the service, the people who protect us should not air their challenges, because people should build confidence in the setup. So I'll crave your kind indulgence that in some of these areas of police and what you might be going through and unity and disunity will be better addressed in camera. Yes.
Honorable Chair, I am answering a question about what is out there in the public. The person is saying that I don't do what I'm supposed to do with the team.
Yes.
And I'm answering to it, and the witnesses to the question is out here, is in here with us. And I need to speak to it so that the public, which has been misinformed, is re-informed with the truth.
You've done that sufficiently.
And I have to end it and nail it. Honorable Chair,
Yes.
I have to end it and nail it. Other than that, at the end of the day, if there is snake you are killing, as our forefathers have told us, you must make sure that it is really dead.
Cut the head.
So the head need to be cut off. So permit me to complete the cutting off of the head. Thank you.
A lot of cutting off of the head will be done in camera.
Honorable Chair, I'm cutting off the head that is in public. So, the point is simple. It is a lie, and it should not be tolerated. Because my colleagues are here. They know, and I'm saying three things, and I'll end on that. That every time there is any issue anywhere across the country that is of national importance, beyond the normal meetings we have all the time, at times thrice in a week, with some of them saying that, George, is too much because at times we just enter the office and you call us again on a matter. Beyond that, every single one, we have meetings on them. And all the ministers are there. And beyond that, we have the meetings, even including odd hours, in the night, and at times Saturdays, Sundays, because the matters of policing, the matters of security are risen, and we can't wait, because if you wait, the situation will get out of hand. And this is what we've been doing. And when 95 to 96% of the time, I give room for errors because nobody is perfect, and I'm not. I wait for all of them to speak, and they are here. And after that, they call me magnetic mind. I would then summarize all the position of each one of them, itemize them, and at times I ask them, how many should we have? How many itemization do you think I'm going to have based on this meeting that we've had? And some of them, today we are tired, give us only 10. We are tired, give us 15, or go 8 or out. So at times we have the meeting discussions, and it's like, George, are you doing Ghana movie? Are you going to do part 1, 2, and 3 in this summary? That is the way we do things. And honorable thing, the second thing is to do with the fact that we consider ourselves as civil servant, and every servant has a master, and the masters of we, the police officers, are the public, even including a week-year-old child. That if something is happening to that week-year-old child, we go to his aid or her aid, because that old-year child is our master and we are the servant. And because I head the organization, I call myself the chief servant, and my colleagues are here, they know it. And being the chief servant, it means to me that I'm the least among them, even though I lead them. And this is how I demonstrate them. One, anytime we are moving outside, all of them goes, and I'm the last car to move. When we get to the destination, because of the teamwork spirit that we have, which was also demonstrated here when we arrived, we all alight, line up in succession in command position, and we greet each other, and then we walk to where we're supposed to go to. When we get there, still being the chief servant, I wait to ensure, and they are here, that each and every one of them has gotten a chair to sit before all of us decide to sit in unison. And when we finish and go back, what I do, they go ahead of me to make sure that everybody is okay, because I'm the chief servant. And when we arrive back to the office or wherever our return place will be, we do the same. Everybody get down, we greet each other, then we do debriefing to find out what exactly happened and what are the lessons that we can put. And they are here. So it is never true. Those people should stop disrespecting the public, because it's just not fair. And the final one, as a chief servant, anytime there's any private family thing associated with any of my commanders, I personally call them, urge them, offer any support that I need to offer, including my own brother. I was there for him 100% when his mother passed on, asking all questions about the development, the movement, about the funeral. And on the day of the funeral, marshal all the commanders at Poma went and sympathized with him. And what I do additionally to build that teamwork, to make sure that all belong, is the fact that I make sure each one of them, when I address them, something that I call regimental diplomacy, even though I'm the head, I use please, thank you, brother and sister. And this is what has glued us together to be working the way we are working, and to be protecting the good people of this country the way we are protecting. So it is a big lie if anybody comes here and make this statement. And that person, I think, need to apologize to the public. I thank you.
Who did you have in mind when you said you helped your brother? Is it one of the witnesses?
I'm talking to my big brother, George. COP. We see, because of the informality that has developed over the years, at times, even in a formal setting, I get it wrong. So it's about my big brother, COP, Alex George Benson.
Okay, so the records will capture that. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so my last preliminary question. You see, IGP, one other thing which has been said about you is that when you policed the Assin-North by-election. You deployed virtually the entire POMAB membership. And so names like COP Ohunu, COP Awini, etc., were mentioned. And the conclusion drawn is that those deployments were inimical to the electoral fortunes of the MPP in the Assin-North by-election. Sir, what is your reaction to this in terms of deployments? I mean, it's something that you may, in your estimation, you are the IGP, if you think that if you share with us, it might compromise, you know what I'm talking about. You can decline to answer and then do that when we go in camera. But what is your reaction to this?
Honorable Chair, my answer will have no security implications. It's a very simple thing, and I've said it time with that number. So my views and the views of my team and the commanders across the country are out there in the public already. But let me recall it by way of summary. The first point is this. When my colleagues and I took over, we realized that anytime there's election, we were too late to operationalize our security arrangement and go about setting of National Election Security Task Force and all that. So close to the election. So there are always issues. So we committed ourselves to mainstreaming election security in all our police operations. So the first thing we did was to establish what we call Police Election Security Secretariat to be involved and streamline election security across the police, so that when one election ends, the policing of the next election begins immediately. So this has been the template that my colleagues and I have been using in handling all subsequent elections since I assumed office. And we've done that for the internal elections of all the political parties, and we have also used the same blueprint to handle all by-elections. But this is the fundamental point. In the past, realize that all by-elections, from Talensi through Chereponi to Atiwa to Ayawaso and other places, normally do turn violence. So we decided as a team to interrogate the issue and find out what is causing it, and realized that we're making a mistake from the security point of view, because when the political parties are treating that by-election as a national election in a single constituency, we were treating it as a local election and then relaxing on the security and leaving it in the hands of the local policing authority. Whilst we have everybody in Ghana at that location taking playing one part or the other in that elections. So we resolved that if the political parties and the other stakeholders involved in these by-elections, if they decide to play it local, we, the police, will play it local. If they decide to play district, we, the police, will play district. Then it means that it's a fair match. If they decide to play it regional, we, the police, will play regional. But if they decide to consider the election as a national one, then we, the policing too, will be national. And I know this is also not tenable. And on the lighter side, if they decide to play it international, we also will do it international. So it is that inform the deployment, because the whole Ghana is at that constituency. So the whole police must also be at that constituency. And that is what has helped us. That's all the by-elections that has been done using this model has not resulted in any violence. And that's why I want to end it. I thank you, Honorable Chair.
Chairman, I yield for now.
Okay.
Yes.
Honorable Yabuama, if you can commence your interrogations.
Chairman, I believe these are preliminary matters.
Yes.
Not going into...
No, not going into serious adduction of evidence here.
Very well. Yes, sir. IGP. You know Chief Bugri Nabu personally?
Honorable Chair, I know Chief Bugri Nabu, and my knowledge of him is like the knowledge that I have for most people that I come across, and like the knowledge I have for virtually everybody at the committee level, and also so many Ghanaians out there. Thank you.
Does he visit your office?
Honorable Chair, it's not that I'm aware.
When some of the witnesses
Inspector General of Police, when he asked you this question, that does he visit your office, you said not that you are aware of. Is there any recording that, for instance, Atachia came to the IGP's office, and even if when we are not there, somebody will tell you that in your absence, so and so came to your office?
Honorable Chair, I have my ADC who let me know if anybody is in my office. But the aspect of recording and everything is done at the reception area.
If somebody came to where you are as the IGP, you'll be informed that Atachian was here.
Yes, Honorable Chair.
So I think the question demanded a yes or no answer. But when you say not that you are aware of, then you leave the issue at large.
Honorable Chair, if that is the understanding, then I'm sorry.
Yes,
I
please.
don't. The answer not that I'm aware simply means that he has not visited me.
Yes, please. Thank you for the clarification here.
Yeah, Chairman. So Chief Bugri Nabu does not have any commercial dealings with the police administration. That's it.
That is correct. And for that, I want to respond to the fact that it's one of the falsehoods that have been put out in the public domain. He has no dealings, and I hear some contract, nothing. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Some of the allegations made to the committee was with regards to promotions. Chairman, I'm sure I'm permitted to be, and I'm within the confines of, I don't want to exceed, that some officers are due promotions, especially those at your level. I know some have to go to the police council for recommendations and approval. What is the situation with regards to promotions? Are there any hold-ups with regards to promotion of certain junior officers within the service?
Honorable Chair, there is no hold-up of promotion of any junior officer in the whole police service. Even as we speak, the structure has been that any junior officer who is 4 years are sent to training and they are promoted. And we are waiting to have all of them promoted. Those who are due, the next set of junior officers who are due for promotion, who are now, we have worked on in trying to rebuild their capacity, send them to Achirematin in the eastern region to reshape and recalibrate them, are currently there, and we are rolling out these and making sure that they are promoted in December. And we've arranged it in such a way that it becomes like something like a Christmas stuff. So nobody in the service at the junior rank that you are saying, whose promotion is being held. So that is another set of concocted story that is being put out there for mischievous reasons.
What about those senior officers whose promotions have to be sent from management to council?
Honorable Chair, every one of them, with the exception of a few, have been sent. And the few who have been sent, and the few who are there, is based on the fact that beyond the number of years that you have been in the position, there is other factors. And I'm told a few is about 7 or 8 or 9 other factors that come into it. And those other factors include competence, include vacancy, include integrity, including all other factors. And when these, beyond that, it becomes the preserve of the police council. And from that level, who make recommendations to His Excellency Mr. President, and for that to be effected. So as it stands, everybody who's supposed to be promoted based on the junior rank has been done. Everybody who's supposed to be promoted based on the senior rank has been done. And that is where we are. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
So the grumbling officers, senior officers, says promotion, that has not taken effect. It's not from POMAC, but from the Police Council.
Your Excellency, Honorable Chair, that is the position because they are the people to promote. And more importantly, recently a meeting was held and some consideration has been done. But the most important thing is that everybody who's supposed to be promoted in line with our policies are being promoted. But the point that has to be made is that it's not a question about how many years we have been at the place. We will have all loved to be promoted as soon as we have 4 years and thereabout. Vacancy, competence is another thing factor into it. I myself, at a point, I was on my rank for 6 years. And I didn't complain because I understand.
Is that a practice that you can be at your rank for 6 years? Because we have your promotions here. And that I can tell the committee that between 97 and 2003, that's about 6 years. You're also a subtenant. But it's also on record that from ASP in 1996 to DSP, I don't have the date here, but to superintendent was just about 2 years or less than that.
Honorable Chair, in my introductory remark, I did alluded to that, and I did say,
chartered as an accountant, you were jumped from one position to superintendent of police. Is that policy still in place? Are those who have, for those who have upgraded themselves academically?
Honorable Chair, that policy, as far as I'm concerned, with the passage of Constitutional Instrument CI 76 2012, that policy, from my reading of that CI 76 2012 is no more in operation.
We determine the seriousness of that, Mr. Annan. We were also told that some junior officers have been jumped or triple jumped by your good self without having gone through the merits, and it became an issue for us to interrogate. Can you speak to that, please?
Honorable Chair, the important thing is that these promotions, which is in line with our regulations in terms of special recommendation, nobody has been jumped 3 times. But the most important thing is this: these are matters that are discussed by police council and approved. So if a decision for their work, and if the challenge is not beyond them, or if the challenge then go beyond them, then drawing to the attention of the relevant commissioner and the schedule and handle. So now that you've brought to my attention, I'll go and look at it. If the commander there has not been able to look at it, I'll go and look at it, and in my usual self work with my colleagues and see what that issue is.
There seem to be a lot of units under your administration: inspection unit, visibility, and recently we heard of the special Dampare unit. Do you have any special Dampare unit for purposes of special operations who are untouchable, who don't report to anybody and to the Inspector General of Police? And we are told some of them have beard, some wear earrings, and not properly attired, and a lot more. Is there any unit within the service like that?
Honorable Chair, first of all, there is no unit called Special Dampare Unit. It's a figment of people's imagination. And I think the point must be made. The second point is that there is a police intelligence directorate which complements police operations. And what has happened in the past is that we were having challenges when it comes to these operations, and we needed to top up with our intelligence, and the intelligence were at only the national level. So my colleagues and I, once again, worked together, and we decided to decentralize that unit such that each of the 25 policing commands will have their own intelligence unit that shape intelligence gathering to inform the operations of the region. So all those units are under the various regional commanders, and then they also work in tandem with the National Director General in charge of intelligence. They don't report to me. Thank you.
Not to personalize matters. You want to come in? Okay.
Oh, Aji. The concluding part of your response is where I want to, proceed from. You said they don't report to you. Now, part of the allegations against you is that that unit in question reports only to you. They don't take instructions from your commanders. I think that was part of the testimony before the committee when previous witnesses appeared. So, sir, what's your reaction to that?
Honorable Chair, like I said, they are a unit that has been institutionalized with the commanders and a chain of command up to the national level, with a Director General in charge. But when you go to the regions, it's like CID, which will work with the regional commander as one of his subordinates, and when it comes to criminal investigations, and yet they also work in tandem with the Director General CID. This is the same framework that has been used for the establishment and decentralization of the intelligence component of the police service. In the past, it's like intelligence were things that we needed to keep improving as an institution and also work across other security agencies and the intelligence component, and to make sure that this country continue to be at peace with itself. So the units are institutionalized. The units are with the regional commanders, and at the national level they have a director general who is in charge of them and who from time to time give us a briefing on our daily meetings, on our weekly meetings, and when we also have emergency meetings on matters of concern, and we get it done. There is nothing like anybody or a group of people out of the normal chain of command reporting to Dampare on anything. It is a lie.
IG, what is the administration, your administration's relationship with the military high command? We were given an impression that all wasn't well with the police administration and the military high command.
Honorable Chair, this is another lie just to paint you black, or typically calling a dog a bag neck and hanging. We have an excellent relationship with all the heads of the security agencies. And it's so excellent that at the end of the day, the cordiality goes beyond official work. The beauty of it is this. Constitutionally, each and every of the agencies has their role to play. And we know where we also need to work together in what I term institutional teamwork and get things done for this country. So we urge these people to stop trying to put our heads against each other. It is shameful. It's not good for this country. And you cannot do this. You should stop it. They can use any other thing to get anything that they want, but they shouldn't use that. They should be patriotic. Because that's the only place we have called home, Ghana. So in their quest to achieve their selfish interest, they shouldn't create confusion. So Honorable Chair, that is what it is. And I know that's how it sits. We'll continue to work together as various security agencies, helping each other in the interest of the country, for Ghana, our beloved country, to continue to be at peace with itself. I thank you.
I can see that your lawyer is nodding. I don't know what this is intended for. Yes.
Mr. Chairman, when he said Ghana, our beloved country, I remembered the conclusion from Kwame Nkrumah, it's free forever.
Thank you. IG, you once served as the ADC to former President Mills, and COP Mensah also once served as the ADC to Vice President Akka. Would you want to comment on that role, especially when some of the witnesses, or from our information, try to use that as a weapon against your office, in my humble view?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I'm happy you spoke to that fact. And I want to take this opportunity to urge all my colleagues in all the non-partisan institutions to keep the sanctity of that institution and stop trying to impute politics into it in a manner that will compromise its responsibility, and especially in my case, the police service, in the maintenance of law and order. And I'm happy you did mention the fact that my big brother George, served as an ADC during President Rawlings and Vice President Akar's time. Before him was another big brother of mine, the former Inspector General of Police, Mr. David Asante Pt2, who also served as the ADC during President Rawlings and Vice President Akar's regime. Then after that, ASP, I have to get the name correct, another ASP served as the ADC during President Rawlings and Vice President Akar's and Vice President Mills' time. Then in the course of his tenure, I was also called upon to go and serve as an ADC to His Excellency, the Vice President, Professor Mills. And I was there for a year and about 6 or 7 months. And I was asked to be replaced because I have become a chartered accountant and I was going to be promoted to the rank of subtenant based on my academic qualification. So I cannot continue to serve as an ADC. So I was replaced by, that time, I'm not sure whether he was an ASP or DSP, and may his soul rest in peace, another brother of mine, Frank Kofi. So from there, all the other regimes, we have had police officers by our arrangement serving as ADC to Vice President. And you will be there, you will be called, it's a call to duty, you can't stop it. But beyond that, after serving as an ADC to Professor Mills, which was somewhere, I need to call it 2007 and 2008, thereabout, and I stand to be corrected on that. Came back to be the deputy auditor, went to UN mission, returned from the UN mission, went for further studies, returned from further studies, and came to serve as special assistant to Honorable Dampare when he was the Minister for the Interior. When my father, Honorable Dampare, was moved to Ministry of Defense, another father of mine, Honorable Kwamna Battles, came in to serve as the minister, and he maintained me as a special assistant. And thereafter, in the course of the 2007 floods, I was there in the office, and Honorable Kwamna Battles said, His Excellency President Kufuor wants to see you. I went, I was ushered in to the office of Dr. Mr. Chirin Hesse, now the Chancellor of University of Ghana. And the idea was that the President Kufuor has found it fit to appoint me as the national coordinator for the management of the disaster. And that is how I have served Ghana outside my policing career. I thank you.
Behind you are members of POMAC, I'm sure. Members of POMAC are seated behind you. I believe so.
Yes, sir.
So that notion of you running a one-man show, because we're told that you are running a one-man show, it's all about Dampare. Dampare. You are not involving POMAC. And it's very, very important for us to hear from you on this, especially when it's a creation of the institution by your legislation. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, I think I addressed this question area, but I'll re-echo the fundamental points. Unfortunately, they are not on oath, so that they cannot testify on this matter. If they had been on oath, we would have heard them, what they will say. They call it United POMAP. United POMAP. That's what they call it. And it's a chain. Nobody breaks it. Unless you are going to a retirement, we take you out, and they will reconnect the chain. And I said, We can't go anywhere without making sure that they are ahead of me. We can't arrive at any destination without making sure that we account for everybody. We cannot go and sit at anywhere without making sure that everybody has a chair. And we cannot start any meeting without making sure that where is everyone? And if the person is not on leave, the person is not doing any other assignment, we make sure that we even wait for the person. So this whole idea, like I said, is trying to put certain things together to paint you black and make sure that you don't look presentable in the eyes of everybody. It is never true. And I said it fundamentally. The Lord that I serve, the God Almighty that shapes my life, He instituted teamwork. And I get incomplete when I'm not functioning in a team, because I'm not sure what I'm putting out there, if I've had a second thought, it will be better. In any case, I have one philosophical belief. It takes other human beings for other human beings to be human beings. So in the absence of other human beings, I feel incomplete. And knowing that it's an institution and not a sole proprietorship, and even a sole proprietorship, you still have to work with people. An institution that does not belong to me, I come and monopolize it. Then I'm not a good leader. Then I'm not a manager. And they know within their hearts of hearts that they were paddling for, so in order to package it and send it to places and make me look bad, thinking that as it has normally been done in our environment, when people go and lie about you and say all things about you, you never get opportunity to speak to the matter. It is a lie. It isn't about Dampare. It's about the police service. It's about Ghana. And it's about the peace and security of this country. I thank you.
So it's good we are giving you the opportunity to speak in public, in the presence of the witnesses who made those allegations. And my last question, Chairman, what led to that letter interdicting the two officers, which was subsequently withdrawn? Thank you very much, Chairman, for the opportunity.
Honorable Chair, I thank you very much. And that is also another thing people have used in trying to get to me. The truth of the matter is this: when all these things happen, whilst we are focused on ensuring that we work together as a team across the country and also across all the other security agencies to continue to maintain peace and security for our beloved country, then you get to a point and these things happen. And you feel pain that your own brothers can go and do this against you. But you forgive because such is nature. And the more you forgive, the more you become stronger and preserve your health. So I moved on. But I said that whatever is going on, I recuse myself from the process. So I was not part of whatever decision that was taken to interdict or de-interdict anyone. It is a matter that was considered at the police council, and they handled it in my absence. And anytime any issue about this particular incident is discussed anywhere within the police leadership, they feel my absence, because I think and I believe that is the right thing to do. And that is what happened. I am not involved in interdiction and the interdiction of anyone. I thank you.
Yes, I can observe that Siopi Mensah, the lawyer you brought, he's not said one word, but he's been drinking a lot of water, you know. My colleague, I've been observing you are drinking water. What's the matter? And even as a chairman, you see my water. I have not drank any water.
Mr. Chairman, you said you will not talk. So I was drinking the water, waiting for the lunch.
Well, I think it's very opportune to give the only female on the committee an opportunity to, interrogate the matters with IGP mounting the witness stand.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chair, I think most of my questions has been exhausted by Honorable Patrick Boama, but I have one or two for my big brother and my boss as well.
Okay. Thank you, Mom. You have only two questions. The younger man who is the vice chairman is telling me that for health considerations we should take about maybe 5 minutes break so that people can stretch their legs, and those who use the washroom will do so. So because of common humanity, I'm compelled to have the proceedings suspended for maybe 7 minutes. If you want to use the washroom, do so. If you want to stretch your legs a bit, and then we'll come back.
You see people have stepped out.
Yes. Yeah, you could see that some of your officers have stepped out, which means it's right for once, you know.
Oh, you cannot prophesy that out.
Dedi kama mamena PENDREAM TV ase. Na so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.
My never say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there, o say dem yopo.